everyone, this is Helen H and welcome to my channel, Moss Cottage. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today is the second week of the Merry Christmas Crafty YouTube hop. This is a hop I'm participating with Susan Hiles from Susan Hiles Creates and the very talented Sheree from Turquoise Dreaming. And this week we will be working on tags. Now last week, if you remember, we worked on masterboards, and I'll link the video at the end of this one in case you missed it. We worked on making masterboards. So my purpose for making the masterboards was to actually use them in my December daily this year. And so what I'm going to be doing is using them for my tags. So I made 3 different kinds of tags, and I'm going to show you each one. We'll work on each one. We're actually going to finish them up. I didn't want to take too much time showing you how I cut them out and all that. I'll discuss what I did. So if you want to use the same idea or something like that, you are more than welcome to. So the first one I made was using the, let me get it here, the masterboard with the napkins on it, which was this one. So I just cut an oval shape out of that masterboard, and I cut an oval shape out of some vellum, just plain vellum. This doesn't have a print or anything on it. It's just plain vellum. And I just kind of like the way it muted the pattern on the napkin. So my focal point that I want to use, the back of course is writable. When I made the masterboard, I made sure the backs were plain so that I could do some writing on them. But the focal point I want to use is this cutout here. These are digitals that I got off Etsy, and I cannot remember the name of this shop, but I got some really cute, like a whole bunch of different cute digital downloads for Christmas, and this is one of them. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue this. It's candy canes with holly and pine cone. So I'm just going to go ahead. I want to glue that right in the middle like that. And then on the back, it is totally plain on the back, but I thought it might be nice to add a little extra touch of something. Let's see where we want that. You know, I'm going to be journaling, but I would also like to have a little touch of something. I think I'll put it down here so it doesn't compete with the back of that eyelet. So I'm going to do this, and if you don't have an eyelet, you can always just punch a hole with a regular type of hole punch like this, and then you could tie the 2 layers together if you were going to use vellum. So this way this tag is pretty on the back as well as on the front. I love that digital. I think that's really cute. So this one just needs to have some kind of fabric or cord or something that's going to come out of the top. And I actually don't think I'm going to put anything on it right now, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't know where in my journal I'm going to use this, and the day that I use it in a pocket or an envelope or something, I might have some ribbon from a package or cording from some kind of something I purchased or something. So I'm not going to go ahead and put a tie in these today. So that's one tag right there. If you don't have an oval punch, just find something round like this, trace it onto your the back of your masterboard, cut it out, and then cut a little square on the top, and you can attach it to the top to make it look like a little ornament or something. Any shape. If you've got cookie cutters, you could trace those out. You don't need a die cutting machine. I used my die cutting machine, but I could easily have made these ornaments or these tags with different things without using a die. Okay, so there's that one right there, and we're going to call that one good and done, because like I said, we don't know where we're using these. We're just making some things that we can use in our December dailies, right? So the next one I made, I also used my die cutting machine, and I have this ornament shaped die, and I don't use it. It's one of the ones that has multiple sizes of the same shape. So I have bigger ones and smaller ones of this. And I just decided to tie some baker's twine around the edge of it here, and that's where the tag part is. Now this one has also the plain back here, and I thought for my focal point I'd use this darling little rabbit with he's got a little bunch of packages, and I thought he would be a nice focal point on this one. So let's go ahead and use this little guy. Now, if you don't have digitals that you've purchased, I've told you before, and I know everyone else has, there's tons of free digitals you can find. Go on Pinterest and just type in free Christmas digitals or whatever, and you should be able to find some that are totally free. Now, if you remember, the master board I used for this one, let me pull it off the floor here, was the one that I actually put glitter on. I pressed the glitter into the wet medium when I was making it. So I'm making sure I'm not using a glue stick. I'm using wet glue to attach my rabbit to make sure he's going down and attaching to the paper, not just the glitter. And I have a sentiment here, Frosty. This is also from a digital that I had purchased, and the reason I purchased these downloads is because I made a whole bunch of Christmas cards with the intention to sell them, and I might sell them next year, but as you know, if you've followed me recently, I decided not to do shows this year, not to do any Christmas shows this year, and so those cards are actually downstairs. But some of these digitals that are not animals, like these here, and I'll show you some others for the next tag, I actually use those as embellishments for the cards I made for the sanctuary, the mini equine sanctuary that I volunteered for, that I made the Christmas cards from. Now this little sentiment says Frosty, and I think I'm just going to put it right here. I did ink it the edges a tiny little bit. But I like Frosty because she's wearing this nice thick coat, and this is the one that has the big chunky glitter behind it, so it looks kind of frosty. So there's the second tag from the master board. Now the last time, and see, I'm trying to do different ones here. The last one I'm making here, what I did was I used a piece of the master board, and I folded it in half, and then I do have a tag-shaped die that I used with my Big Shot, but you don't have to use that. You can certainly do this simply by folding a piece of paper, your masterboard, in half, and then just angling the edges. Now, I don't know if the camera will show this. The die cut I used, what I did when I made it in the machine to make sure it folds like this, I put the die slightly off the edge here so this side would not cut. Otherwise, I'd just have two separate pieces. I put this side of the die off this edge so that it really only cut three sides. And that's how I got it to be like this. And this is kind of like a little tag that's like a booklet. So I thought that would be really fun. And this one was I used the master board that's the very plain, different shades of off-white. So what I'm going to do with this one is I have a pocket that I made, and this I cut from the same paper, but I just cut it out. I did this. I put it on the master board, traced around it, and cut it out. This is not a die cut piece, okay? This one, because it's brown, let's go ahead and do some inking on this one. Let's go ahead and give it a quick zhuzh to grunge it up a little bit, because that certainly will fit my woodlands theme. So we'll do both sides here. There's a lot of, when you do one of these shapes on the edge. You could do a circle, you could do whatever you want. You just have to make sure that on one side you don't cut through the 2 layers. You don't cut the fold. And you can do this really any shape you wanted, but since today's prompt was tags, you know, I had to do tags, right? And I'm just gonna go ahead and ink my sentiment as well while I have the ink out. Okay, so what I'm going to do, my focal point for this one is this deer right here. But see, he doesn't have any legs. He doesn't have any front legs. And that's the way the digital was. So I don't want him not to have legs. So I thought, well, and there were some others with that digital too. There's a little donkey and I think a little Highland cow. And they also just have the front part of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and figure out if my pocket is here and I want him poking out of the pocket. So I want him about here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make sure I put him in the right place. I'm just putting a mark here. No one's going to see that mark, but that's just how far down I need to glue him. So I'm just going to go ahead and really quickly get some glue around him. And I didn't do a terrific job inking him up. He does have a little bit of white on him, but I'm perfectly okay with that because this masterboard I'm using was all about the whites, right? So there's that mark I made, and I just made that so that when I stick him on, I know when I put the pocket on, he's still going to show, okay? So there's my pretty little deer. And now I'm just going to stick this on. I am not intending to use this as a pocket at all. I want it to be a faux pocket because as it is, well, you know, maybe I will make it a pocket. Maybe I could stick like a little ticket or something. I'll give myself that option. I wasn't going to. I was going to make it a faux pocket, but why not? Let's go ahead and just make it a real pocket. Just in case I have a ticket stub or something I want to stick in there. I don't want to put anything in there that's so tall it's going to block his face though. So it won't be anything that big. It will just be some little things. So I'm just putting this down here. I'm just giving the glue a good zhuzh. Okay, now for the front I chose this die cut here of these beautiful candles with greenery around them, and I'm going to stick that on the front of the pocket. I love any candle ephemera. I have some old stickers that have candles on them. They're more retro looking or vintage looking, like 1950s looking, but I just love the candles. I guess because it's so warm looking. So I put those there. And my sentiment is winter nights, because who doesn't love candles on a winter night, right? And our little deer there, he's wearing a scarf, so we know that it's chilly, so we might need some candles. All right, and we do definitely know it's winter. I'm just going to make sure that's straight. That's good. Okay. And then I've got this little, this digital here. These all came from the same place. Like I said, if you go in Etsy, well, you can get free ones, but if you want these ones, go in Etsy and put Christmas Woodlands Digitals, and they should come up. This, I'm just putting this little holly berry in here because we have a journaling space, a lot of journaling space here. Now, I could always stick excuse me, a candy wrapper or something there and just journal on this side. I could just do collage on both sides, whatever I want, but I did want to go ahead and put a little something in there. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this with one of these tiny little Tim Holtz paper clips because it's kind of grungy looking, like this. Okay, so now we truly do have a pocket. Now I can see here with my vellum that it's wanting to bend up a little bit. I think that is because I got glue here, doing glue here. So what I might do is just put it under a book or something for a minute until that dries and dry it flat. So this one right here, I'm thinking instead of putting, I can't really put a grommet through here and put a tie because then I won't be able to open it, right? So I might just put the hole and some fabric or something sticking out of the back. But I'm not going to do that now, like I'm not going to do this one because I just don't know what I would be putting in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that. So here are 3 tags from my 3 master boards. Again, there's this one here with the pretty vellum and that on the back. And then we have this little one with nothing on the back. And the reason I didn't put anything on the back on this one is this is a fairly small tag. So if I had a ticket or I wanted to write something and I had like a embellishment here, I don't have a lot of space to write. Because these actually, I could put photos on the back of these because my selfie does print the 2x3 tiny little photos. And then we've got this tag here with the deer. And the back I'm leaving plain for right now, but I'm glad I did decide to make that a pocket. So guys, these are my 3 tags from the master boards. This will help me one day when I need to fill one of the pockets or I don't have a lot of time. You know, this is using the master board. And again, they're all going to be somewhat cohesive, but not totally matchy-matchy. So I hope you enjoyed this project and that you're crafting along with Sheree and Susan and myself, making stuff for your Christmas crafts. And I will link their channels below. So after you've watched this video, if you haven't already seen theirs, please go and watch their videos and you'll see what they interpreted for tags. Guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I ask that you do. And until the next video, I hope you're all truly blessed. Bye-bye.